At 9:04 a.m., an entire city vanished in a single flash. In less than 1 second, Halifax became the most destroyed place on Earth. This wasn't a battlefield or a war zone. It was a peaceful Canadian city, living its final normal moment before disaster struck. It was December 6, 1917. A cold, quiet morning in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Children were walking to school. Dock workers were starting their shifts along the harbor. Families were preparing breakfast, unaware that history was about to tear their lives apart forever. Halifax Harbor was one of the busiest ports in the world during World War I. Ships moved constantly through its narrow waters, carrying supplies for the war overseas. That morning, 2 vessels entered the harbor on paths that would change Canada forever. One of them was the SS Mont Blanc, a French cargo ship arriving from New York. Hidden deep inside its hull was a deadly secret. Over 2,900 tons of explosives, including TNT, picric acid, and benzol. Enough power to flatten an entire city. Almost no one in Halifax knew the danger drifting silently toward them. At 8:45 a.m., the unthinkable happened. The Mont Blanc collided with another ship, the SS Imo. Metal shrieked as the hulls scraped together. Barrels burst open. Highly flammable benzol spilled across the deck and ignited. Flames climbed rapidly into the air. In seconds, the Mont Blanc became a floating bomb. The crew knew what was coming. They abandoned the ship, rowing desperately toward shore, shouting warnings in French that no one understood. On land, people gathered along the waterfront. Instead of running, they stopped. They stared. They watched the burning ship drift closer to the city. At 9:04 a.m., the Mont Blanc exploded. A blinding flash brighter than the sun filled the sky. A massive fireball rose thousands of feet into the air. The shockwave traveled faster than sound, smashing buildings before people could even hear it. In a single instant, Halifax was torn apart. Entire neighborhoods were vaporized. Steel beams bent like paper. Brick walls collapsed in waves. People were thrown through the air. Windows shattered miles away, sending glass into faces and eyes. A massive tsunami surged back into the harbor, dragging debris, ships, and bodies with it. Then came silence, followed by screams. More than 1,900 people were dead. Over 9,000 were injured. Thousands were blinded by flying glass. Families searched desperately for loved ones in the rubble, often finding nothing but broken streets and smoke. The next day, a brutal winter storm hit Halifax. Snow buried the ruins, freezing the wounded and slowing rescue efforts. Survivors dug through debris with bare hands, refusing to give up hope. Doctors worked non-stop. Strangers saved strangers. Humanity rose from the ashes of unimaginable destruction. Help poured in from across the region, but one city responded immediately: Boston. Doctors, nurses, and supplies arrived as fast as possible, saving countless lives. That act of kindness forged a bond that still lives on today. Every year, Halifax sends Boston a Christmas tree. A living symbol of gratitude. A reminder that even in humanity's darkest moments, compassion can survive. The Halifax explosion changed the world. It reshaped disaster response, emergency medicine, and safety laws forever. But more than that, it left a scar on the soul of a nation, a warning written in fire. History doesn't always whisper. Sometimes, it explodes. This was the Halifax explosion, the day Canada was torn apart.